Okay, hello, Mr. Casey. It's a really pleasure to meet you. Could you give a short introduction to our audiences?
Sure. I'm Casey Lartigue, co-founder and co-president of Freedom Speakers International in South Korea.
That was really short.
Well, I can always say more, but then, I won't stop.
Okay, so here are some of the questions. Okay, so first one, why are you speaking at Harvard Clubs of Florida?
Okay. So, yeah, I'll be going to Florida from South Korea at the end of March. Now, this is actually part of a project where in early March, I'll be going to the Harvard Graduate School of Education to speak at the Alumni of Color Conference along with Eun Lee and Lee Sung. I'll be leading that workshop. And then after that, I'm going to go to Florida for a little less than a week and give 3 speeches there. And then all of this is leading up to our 19th English speech contest, where 7 North Korean refugees will be giving original speeches at Harvard. Now, this particular video recording is about the trip to Florida. I'll be talking about Song Mi-han's memoir, Green Light to Freedom, which I co-authored with her. It's the story of her life and escape from North Korea. And it's a really touching story. And it's a book that, no matter who you are, your heart will be warm when you just read just the real story. So she was not like a politician or diplomat or part of the elite of North Korea. She was at the bottom of that society. And she was able to escape the freedom, and a lot of unexpected things, a lot of humorous stories there, despite some of the terrible things that happened to her. So I'll be talking about that book, and I'll be answering a question that I get asked very often at the end of an event where I'm either the moderator or a speaker or the North Korean refugee speaking. Someone will ask, why hasn't there been a revolution in North Korea? And instead of waiting for someone at the end of this event to ask the question, I decided to ask the question and to answer the question. Now, the first part of the question is related to why is it that this terrible government that violates the human rights of its citizens, is an international pariah, struggles so much economically, why is it that that country has been able to survive for more than 7 decades? So in part 1 of my speech, I'll talk about that. Then in part 2, I'm going to talk about some of the ways that North Koreans and North Korean refugees have resisted the regime. And they're in ways that maybe Westerners don't quite recognize because they're born in freedom. But there are some ways that North Koreans, based on the situation they're in, and also North Korean refugees have attacked the regime. So that's what's happening, and that's what I'm going to be talking about.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Casey. So last but not least, why should people listen to these topics?
So why? Well, it's simple. I'm a Harvard graduate, and I'm going to do my best to activate the Harvard University network. A couple of years ago, I was telling some of the volunteers for our organization that they should try to activate their networks. And then I just realized, wait, I need to do the same thing. I should activate the networks that I'm a part of. So I began reaching out to Harvard University and trying to organize events and activities, but actually it's been a little bit difficult to do so. I decided this year, instead of just doing like a one-shot, one conference, one event, why not do a series of activities that will reach out to Harvard University students, faculty, alumni, and staff. And this trip will be a chance for me to connect directly with Harvard alumni in Florida, and basically to make my pitch to them about why they should get involved with supporting North Korean refugees, even just to be more aware of the human rights situation in North Korea.
Okay, thank you so much. So when was the date that you were going to speak at Florida?
And you can look us up, lovefsi.org or fsi21.org, or find me on Patreon. I'll be talking about this for the next couple of weeks. So you can get specific information there.